Welcome along, everybody, to the first of two races for today's action for the third meeting of the year for the 2023-24 season for the DSBK UAE National Championship. We're going superbike racing Dubai style and in beautiful weather conditions compared to what we were expected to have. We actually experienced back at what should have been our second round of racing back in February, but unfortunately due to some inclement weather, it meant that we can no longer go racing on that weekend. This is actually our second weekend of proper racing, the third event which has been held for this new incentive and this new way of motorsport here in the Middle East and this new kind of market that's ever developing. Of course, bike racing around the world is incredibly popular, but here in the Middle East, it's getting a bit better and a bit more popular as the season goes on. So Scott Woodward's here to guide you through all of the action from today's two races. Race one coming up very, very shortly. And in terms of the weather conditions, it is looking pretty sublime in many cases. You can see there's plenty of interest down in the pit lane of the racing that's about to come. It's past course of the NGK race weekend. We just had some racing, of course, on the four-wheel variety. Now it's time for the two wheels to head out on track to head to the grid for the first of two races here today. So three classes in store, for those who didn't watch the qualifying earlier on this morning. That being in the modified class, the super stock class, and an all-encompassing rookies class on top of that. And we'll go through the grid as and when we get to shortly. But in terms of superbike racing, many people know the Middle East as being very much a four-wheel variety. But there's an ever-developing market now for two-wheel. There has been sort of bike events throughout Dubai and throughout the Middle East over the last several years. But in terms of an actual racing scene, it's only just in its infancy and developing a little bit, whereas now, with some of the forethought, we've got an opportunity for this championship to start developing, to start bringing riders not just from around the Middle Eastern region, but even this one has started to inspire some riders from further afield, particularly from mainland Europe, who are here as residents, to get involved and to get on track and to essentially experience what the Dubai Autodrome is like, but from a two-wheel perspective rather than on four wheels. We've already had one meeting for this championship. That was back in November, where we saw two victories overall and in the modified class for Saeed Al Salati. There were victories from Manuel Para and Faras Abu Ghanem. Faras picking up the win in the super sport class. And then top of the rookies out there so far has been the British Dubai resident, Tom Robson, who has been looking pretty strong. He starts on pole once again in the class. What you're looking at there is one of the top riders in the modified class for today, starting third. Number 88, Mohammed bin Laden. Watch for him. He's a potential young star from Saudi Arabia, and he'll be looking to try and make an instant impact in this first race. Ran pretty well in qualifying. He's got some work to do to pick up some more pace. There is bike 33. That is Faras Abu Ghanem, who, of course, is starting on the Supersport pole. He'll be wanting to try and extend his advantage. We do have points tables for all three of those classes, with Manuel Para, who is on the grid here this weekend. He is currently top of the super stock standings from Faras Abu Ghanem. So this is a good chance potentially for Ghanem to gain some points back on Para if he can finish ahead of him. Tom Robson currently third in super stock. So again, if he can get a little bit closer, got a couple more bikes to get around, if he can manage to work his way past them in the early laps and keep on the tail of both Abu Ghanem and Para. Rodion Yashkov, who was fourth after the opening two races back in November, not here this weekend, sadly, so he will possibly drop down the order a little bit. We don't have Graham Purvis either, which is unfortunate, so both of them will drop down the points. We do have Matteo Minero, who's set to start in 10th on the grid. Then we've got Mohamed Samshir, Hussein Balot, and Muhannad Bakadlag. That's the super stock running in terms of points. In the modified class, it's a slightly smaller one. We've got a couple of new incumbents, which we'll talk about and have done through qualifying, but we'll remind you if you didn't watch that earlier on. So Saeed Al Salati, who won both races outright and in the modified class, is currently top with 50 points, ahead of Johan Gauss on the Ducati 899 in second. Then it's the Adrian Andranash on the Yamaha in third, Florin Berladino, the Romanian rider, in fourth. And then the rookies, it's Tom Robson who leads that way in the Yamaha R6 on 50 points. Rodion Yashkov in second, Mohamed Samshir third, Hussein Balot in fourth, and Muhannad Bakadiag in fifth position. So there you can see on third the group, we just saw a shot of rider number 5, which is Sasko Totaro, who's the local resident from Italy and South Africa. We're looking now at Mohammed Bin Laden, third on the grid. Quite a young star. He's been racing in Europe quite regularly in the European Yamaha R3 Cup and the Honda ETC European Championship. He's one to keep an eye on in the mix. Looking back towards row 2, and we can see here Firas Abigana in bike number 33. He is looking to try and get a good start if he can from the initial getaway. Firas on the Yamaha R6. And Firas, local resident from Lebanon, now his third season of racing since rookie. And he might be a little bit mild-mannered, but once he's on the track, as the notes say here, he's got plenty of fire in his belly. Watch out for rider 55 also. That is Florin Berladino starting in P6, and in between them is the Italian rider Manuel Parra. Manuel on the R6, local resident from Italy, in his second season, looking to try and get a good start from the middle of row number 2. You can see Florin there just limping up a little bit. There's bike 86, Tom Robson, who is our current rookie pole sitter. He will go from 8th on the grid to the middle of row number 3. Again, another resident European rider from the UK. And he's also got alongside him to his right, Adrian Andranash. I'll get these words out eventually. And Adrian looking to try and make some progress from the 3rd row. So the grid is being cleared before they set the bikes off on their formation lap. They'll form back up onto the typical kind of 3x3x3 grid formation, and of course they'll watch for the lights when they're all back formed up once again, and racing will get underway. It's a race that is scheduled for 8 laps, and it's also set to be, in terms of time length, there is a time length of this race of 20 minutes, but also 8 laps on top of that as well. So we're expecting a fine race all round. So they'll set off on the formation lap very, very shortly. Actually, where they go looks like it is the, yes, green flag lap. This is a prime chance for the riders to try and just get a little bit of heat into the tyres here, I think, as they come through. Interesting to see how this one all plays out. So as they make their way around onto as they make their way around onto the grid, just trying to get themselves a little bit of temperature into these tyres and into the brakes to get themselves ready for what should be quite an intriguing 8 laps in store. So Saeed Al-Salati looking to try and take his 3rd win in a row after the 2 that he picked up back in November. Saskia Totaro, who is one of our 2 newcomers to the championship for this season here this weekend, he will be hoping to get a good start from the front row of the grid if he can, along with Mohammed Bin Laden. And then with the super sport runners, or super stock runners, I should say, forgive me. With the super stock runners, they will wish that they can try and keep up with Firas Abigana, but of course watch for both Manuel Parra and also, if he can pick his way through, Tom Robson from 8th on the grid also. So the riders will trundle their way around back to the grid, led around by pole sitter Saeed Al-Salati from Qatar. And Saeed, of course, remember coming into this one with a 18-point lead over Johan Gauss, who is quite far back on the grid, back in 14th. So the second man in points in modified class is quite the way back, in fact. Sorry, in superstock class. No, modified class, I am correct first time. Who starts back in 14th. Adrian Andranash a bit further up in 9th, and Florin Berladino back in P6. He is the nearest of the point scorers at the moment. But watch for Saskia Totaro and Mohammed Bin Laden. So, On the front row in white and red is Saeed Al Salati on far right. Sasuke Totaro in green on the Kawasaki in the middle. And in blue and silver, Mohammed bin Ladin. Grid is formed up and all set to go then. So 8 laps or 20 minutes set to go then for our first 2 races today. For round 3 of the Dubai Superbike Championship. Lights out and they're racing. A strong start from the front row as they head down towards turn 1 for the first time. And it's a decent start initially. It looks like for bin Ladin, who takes the lead. Not a good start for the pole sitter. Saeed Al Salati down towards turn 1. And bin Ladin, the Saudi rider, goes into turn 1 with the advantage. Al Salati in second place. And it looks as though, actually a good start from leading Superstock riders. So up to third place initially has gone Faraz Abu Ghanem and Sasuke Totaro from the front row of the grid down to 4th already. They wind their way now through the first few corners and up towards the end of turns 5, 6 and 7. And already, Saeed Al Salati, who showed good race pace in race 1 back in November, I wonder if he's got something to answer here, because it was a great single lap pace on the Yamaha, of which Mohammed is also riding. But I wonder if there's just some better race pace here of the initial getaway at least. Let's see what Saeed Al Salati can do here to try and close in. Down the back straight for the first time. So, bin Ladin leads. Al Salati in second place. Back into third has gone Sasuke Totaro on the green Kawasaki. 4th now it is the leader in the Superstock class, which is, in fact, Faraz Abu Ghanem still. So, out through the first few corners they go. Al Salati trying to put the pressure on to bin Ladin already. And here comes also Sasuke Totaro. We could have quite a fight in these initial stages here if Al Salati finds it difficult to get around the young Saudi rider. There is bike 20. Yuri Nekrasov started 7th. They make their way down over the crest. So it's going to be Salati who currently leads the way, and all the top 3 are closed up together now through the end of a lap of lap number 1. That's a 9-lap race, in fact. Salati having a peek through the right-hander of what would have been turn 15, back towards 16 now to end the first lap. And the top 3 trying to make an early break in the modified class here. Out of turn 16, onto the pit straight. Is Salati now going to start to wind up that Yamaha and get himself into the mix, make a move? Also watch for the Kawasaki. Sasuke Totaro down the pit straight, all 3 of them together, and it is indeed bin Ladin who leads it at the end of lap number 1. So bin Ladin currently leads then. Salati in second place, Totaro in third, Faraz Abu Ghanem in 4th, 5th position for Manuel Paras, 6th for Florin Berladinu, 7th place for Yuri Nekrasov, who's 3rd in Superstock, and in the rookie category, it's actually Marwan Almheri on bike 69. Marwan Almheri, who is on the Kawasaki, is in the lead of that one. As up the inside for the lead goes Saeed Al Salati, runs 2 deep, and back past him on the undercut goes bin Ladin to get back into the lead. So an early attempt there from Saeed, but just showing his hand to show that he is trying to get hit here. But I think compared to the first race in November, because remember the races in February didn't take place due to inclement weather, I think this time Al Salati's got a bit more of a race on his hands. He's got bin Ladin in front of him, Totaro right behind, and it is in front now, a pair of Yamaha R6s being chased down by the green Kawasaki's. Bin Ladin a little deeper into the hairpin at turn 10 through turns 11 and 12, and there's a possibility here that bin Ladin's got some good race pace. So despite the single lap pace we saw in qualifying, bin Ladin with a better start is able just to make it a bit more difficult for the Qatari rider. But some great sort of Middle Eastern talent being put on display here. And mentioning in the notes here that given the fact that he's done plenty of riding in Europe, both on the Yamaha R3s in the European Cup and also on the ETC Honda European Championship, there's a lot of belief he's got on the path to a successful racing career. If this is the genesis of this, showcasing his skills and brushing off his cobwebs after a bit of a long off-season, certainly is the chance. But Al Salati think he might have a look up the inside here, which he does look into turn 16. And bin Ladin looks across, thinks, right, you can have that, but I'll try and get you back on the slipstream down the pit straight. He's also going to watch for Sasuke Totaro behind the Italy, South Africa, and bin Ladin coming back at him now on the pit straight in the slipstream. He's going to put himself alongside, drafts past the Yamaha and into the lead once again. He goes and back up the inside goes outside to Salati. He's not done, but he might go a little too deep. Look at also what Saskia in that on that Kawasaki. 3 of them all together as they tried to pull away. They're already on lap 3. And now then, Saeed Al Salati with the move down the pit straight, but there was a sequence there where Salati made the move up the inside into the final corner. Bin Laden drafted past him back down the pit straight in the braking zone. Al Salati re-passed him again. Now with clear air, is this the chance now for Al Salati to start to pull away? Or does Mohammed Bin Laden have enough to keep with him throughout this next phase of the race? We've gone on lap 3 now, 2 laps completed. And initially you can see out of turns 8 and 9 and down the back straight here that I think that Bin Laden has got a bit of work to do to try and reclose here. He's in the slipstream, pulls himself alongside, and they will be side by side in the braking zone. The 2 Yamahas go at it again into the braking zone at turn 10. Al Salati goes deep around the outside. He doesn't want to give it up that easy. Up through turn 11, and Bin Laden back through. So the 2 Yamahas now nose to tail as they come back towards turn 12. Let's see if there's any possible more movement here between them. Saskia Tatara, I suspect, is either just keeping his powder dry because he knows if either of these two come to blows and fight too hard, it'll be an easy opportunity for them to let him through and possibly get himself into a high podium place. Let's check in whilst that's happening with the rest of the order from 4th place downwards. It's still Faraz Abu Ghanem as up the inside for 2nd place into turn 14 goes Saskia Tatara looking on the outside line for 15. Al Salati fights back and holds the line and the position. But again, all this fighting is just allowing Bin Laden, who backs the rear end of the Yamaha into turn 16, it's allowing him to get away. So they've got to realise that soon, otherwise there's going to be a bit of drama here between these 3. So Bin Laden, Al Salati and Tatara, that's still the top 3 down the pit straight towards turn 1 again. Under brakes, just turning into that apex. Again, all 3 of the rear ends of those bikes just sliding around a little wide on the middle of the apex for Al Salati there as he tried to get the bike stopped. Whilst this is going on, back in the super stock class, it's still Faraz Abu Ghanem who leads the class in 4th place overall. That's from Manuel Parra, who's in P6 overall. And then Yuri Nekrasov in 7th place. We look back to that battle that's going on. And that will be Manuel Parra we're looking at there, I think. Just look further back. But yes, it's Tom. It's Marwan Al-Amheri ahead of Adrian Andranash and Tom Robson. Tom Robson on the blue number 86 machine. That's the Yamaha R6. This is a fight that's going on over 8th, 9th and 10th. And in fact, actually, there's that Al-Amheri. No, that was Andras moving out of the way. And up the inside there into the right hand and went Tom Robson and into the lead of the rookie class. That was almost Andranash completely moving out of the way to try and not get involved in anything to do with a class that he's not racing in. So in fact, actually, Tom Robson taking full advantage of that. I'm not sure if that really put Marwan Al-Amheri off a little bit, but the number 69 Kawasaki now back into 2nd place, and into the lead goes the current points leader in the rookie class, Tom Robson. So Robson now into the lead of the rookie class as they head down the back straight. Al-Amheri trying to come back at him in the toe towards the hairpin at turn 10. Just behind them, Andranash now has the 89 of Kalfan Al-Kabi also bearing down on him. And he's also in the Supersport rookie class, but Andranash not quite so welcoming to let him through. What if he realised that that was a fight that he wasn't really a part of, and so he just simply let Tom Robson through? But whatever Al-Amheri decided to do into that sequence of corners, it just either caught him completely off guard or didn't really expect him to see Tom Robson sailing past him. And now we see a fight here developing for that rookie class win as they head down towards the left-hander at turn 13, back towards that switchback, so wind back sector 14 and 15. Now back to the leaders in the modified class, and it's still Bin Laden who leads. Although across the line, it was Al Salati who was leading the way, but Salati again outbrakes himself into turn 1, gets the switch back from Bin Laden who goes back through again. And also keep an eye on Saskia Tatara. He's not done either because he's right in the mix here. There's a great race developing between these 3. The 2 Yamahas and the Kawasaki. Remember with Saskia Tatara, we said this in qualifying if you missed it earlier on. For about the last 6 seasons or so, Saskia's been racing a Ducati, essentially, whereas it's his first season on the inline 4 Kawasaki. And he says it's not too different, but in terms of getting up to speed on that one, there's not much change, but he was still pretty quick on the Friday free practice sessions. But he's switching from a twin-cylinder Ducati to a 4-cylinder inline 4 to Kawasaki is a bit of a change in terms of bike, but getting used to it and certainly not lost him any speed. Top of the shot, if you're watching on the stream, you can see there is Firas Abighanum still in 4th and still your leader in Superstock. The top 3 head back through turn 10. Slightly wider exit there from El Salati, trying to put himself alongside if he can, just to keep himself into possible passing range. Now back with the rookies, looking back on the screen here, I just see that not only has Tom Robson pulled several bike lengths away from second place man Almheri, but he's also now under threat a bit more from Khalfan Al-Karbi. And Al-Karbi is much closer than he was a few moments ago, and Robson, meanwhile, is just about checked out. He's got clear air in front of him. He's pulling away down towards turn 10. But intriguingly enough, Adrian Andranash is still keeping with them. He is in the modified class, but he's almost entertaining himself by having a play with the Supersport rookie boys out here at this point in the race. We're on lap 5 of 9. As Robson pulls away, just flashes through the shot on that bright blue bike. Yamaha working well. Now I can see on the timing screen there's been a switch around between Bin Ladin and Al Salati. In fact, they go back to our top 3 now. Still line astern. The change was that on the last time by the timing line, Al Salati was ahead by about a 10th. Now this time, of course, Bin Ladin keeps himself in front. Sasuke Satara again. I just got a feeling he's keeping his powder dry. He's not pushing too hard. He's letting Bin Ladin and Al Salati fight, use up their tyres, use up all their energy. He might pounce here in a moment if he's got an opportunity. Look at that. He's riding the heck out of that Kawasaki and trying to make it work. He's back up the inside because Al Salati, but again, Bin Ladin sees it coming. Gets the undercut on the outside. El Salati might have the inside for the next turn at turn 9. In 308 and 9, El Salati is back in front. So there's a proper race going on here. But again, this will give the toe to Bin Ladin down the back straight. Watch also for Tatara if he can start to tuck in as well. Here he comes. And in the draft, Bin Ladin easily sweeps past Al Salati again. Back under brakes, and he's not done yet. Back through again. This is great back and forth racing between these two. Tataro is in here, but he's not making big moves and diving up the inside anywhere. He's just keeping and watching brief in 3rd place because he knows he's in the pound seat. If anything goes on between these two that really causes them a major drama, he is in the opportune spot to make a move and to get the job done. Al Salati leads them back out of turn 12, out of the hairpin, one of the many hairpins on the full Dubai Autodrome Grand Prix circuit. We look back now, and there's been a change again in the Superstock rookie class, because now into a clear 2nd place is the 89 of the 69 of Marvin, so 89 of Khalfan Al-Karbi, because Marvin Al-Hemri has really fallen back. So either he's got tyre issues or a developing problem of some kind, but that number 69 bike is not performing as it was before when it was leading the early stages. Dropping back down the order and now off to the bottom step of the rookie podium. It now gives Khalfan Al-Karbi a chance to start to pull away here. This is intriguing. The leaders now are coming up to lap traffic. That might be Hussein Ballo, I think, on bike 49, who is only too gracious to let the top 3 through. And intriguingly, through that sequence, Al Salati's pulled away by a few bike lengths now. He's got a bit more distance between himself and the battle for 2nd place, which is now quickly developing between Bin Ladin and Tataro. Tataro had a speculative little peek up the inside in towards the end of that left-hander at turn 7. Back through the double apexes of Aiden and the long arcing turn 9, slightly banked. This might be the chance Tataro needs to get the slipstream down the back straight, but even so, off the corner, the Yamaha's got plenty of punch in a straight line, particularly in terms of traction. I suspect now that Bin Ladin is slightly more occupied with looking behind him or keeping an eye on what's going on behind him rather than in front, because Tataro is keeping up the pressure. There's a chance for him to get through. The Kawasaki would just nip by on the inside to pick up 2nd place. But some promising riding here, and it's great to see these two actually able to give a bit of a challenge to Saeed Al Salati, who was a bit almost on his own in the first 2 races back in November. Who knows what could have happened in February had there not been the inclement weather that forced the the cancellation of those races. So this is literally the third race of the season. It's the third meeting, but it's the second meeting we've had. We've had actual racing and deeper on the brakes to try and make a move up the inside there. Looked Totaro, but there wasn't enough space up the inside to make that work. So he sat back and just going to try and think about another move. He's got 2 more laps to settle it. A glance backwards there from Ben Ladine. He knows now where the Kawasaki is. He's that close. What he's mainly focused on is trying to keep watch and keep up with Al Salati, who is just pulling away here to the tune of, as he comes across the line. It's now 1.9 seconds. So on that lap alone, Ben Ladine being focused on trying to hold off Totaro, who's looking up the inside, lost 1.3 seconds, and now into turn 1. He's lost second place. If Totaro can get it anchored up on the exit of the corner, which he does. So Totaro making his move. This is in fact the final laps. Now this is the battle for second place. But again, the harder these two fight each other, the easier it is now for Al Salati to continue to pull away. He's put another lap on another of the slower bikes out there. That would have been, I think, Muhannad Bakadlag. Oh, that was close. Totaro squeezing up the inside and just narrowly avoiding skimming the side of Bakadlag's number 12 bike. So Bin Ladine was holding on to second place, but again, all that fighting has just lost them enough time to put Saeed Al Salati out of reach to feel a little bit more comfortable out in front at this point. Down the back straight for the final time. Bin Ladine just moving to the middle of the road to try and negate any kind of toe that Totaro might try to attain, but Saskia keep close to this next section out of turn 10. And then winding all the way through 11, 12, back to the last few corners. And for Saeed Al Salati, he is currently on his way to pick up another maximum score. 3 races and 3 wins. But for second, it could still be anyone's guess, because Saskia Totaro is going to push Mohammed Bin Ladine here all the way to the final couple of corners. Out of the final couple of turns they'll come. It's quite an entertaining race up at the front of the field. And in the end, whilst these two continue to scrap, and it might not be over until the final corner or the sprint to the final checkered flag, these two are going to go all the way to the line here for second place, but it looks as though out of the final corner to take his 3rd win of the season in the DSBK UAE National Championship, it is going to be Saeed Al Salati, who takes victory in race 1 of the day on the full GP circuit at the Dubai Autodrome. He is victorious in both the modified class and overall. Second place does go to Mohammed Bin Ladine from 3rd on the grid, and 3rd will go to Saskia Totaro. Thumbs up all round. I think they enjoyed that. That was a pretty fine fight. Look at that, even sportsmanship between them on the slowing down lap. A shake of hands. Good racing. Acknowledges good racing. And not that Saeed Al Salati sticking around. He's going straight to the part ferme, and already out in front. He's not slowing down too much. But both Mohammed and Saskia put on a great fight, as did Saeed. And I'm sure that Saeed will acknowledge the fact that it was a good fight nonetheless. Further back, crossing the line, it's been a Superstock victory outright for Firas Abu Ghanem, so that's another win for him. So well done to Firas for picking up 4th overall and that victory. The fight to the end here sees, this is Andranash and Al-Kabi to the line, and Andranash will hold on to P9 and Al-Kabi P10 to round it off overall. Looking back now the rest of the order, so Abu Ghanem 4th and Superstock winner. Next after him came Florin Bernardino, who's 4th in modified. Then it's Manuel Parra, who was 6th overall and 2nd in Superstock, as the result comes up on the screen. So you can see Al Salati victorious, Mohammed Bin Ladine 2nd, and Saskia Totaro in 3rd. Firas Abu Ghanem 4th and taking the Superstock victory from Florin Bin Ladine in 5th. Manuel Parra 6th and 2nd in Superstock. Superstock podium rounded out by Yuri Nekrasov. Tom Robson was another runaway winner in 8th place and wins the rookie category from Adrian Andranash in 9th overall in the modified class. Then it's Kalfan Al-Kabi, 2nd in rookie, ahead of Marwan Al-Heri, who led early on but then fell backwards with a loss of pace for some mysterious reason. Then Mohamed Samshir, Matteo Minero, Johan Gauss, Muhannad Bakadlag and Hussein Balot to round out the 16 riders. So all 16 started, all 16 counted back home. That's exactly what we like to see. So the riders will make their way around. As you can see, the heat haze as is always typical, almost mandatory in some cases here, of course, in Dubai, given the time of the year and the heat. And of course, we're getting towards the end of the kind of Dubai racing season, the Middle Eastern racing season in a way, because it starts around October and finishes around this time in March, because getting towards the later months in the year, it becomes slightly too hot to go racing. There is Said Al-Salati praising his efforts. I'm sure he'll be very pleased for the victory. He looks back and thinks, where's everyone gone? In terms of his victory margin, he was winner by 1.8 seconds. He also set the fastest lap of the race, 2 minutes 8.057, and that was on lap 6. I think that was when he started to get a little bit clearer, once he had some clear track and he wasn't going back and forth with Bin Laden and Totaro. Once he had that clear track and it allowed him to start to pull away and let the two riders behind him fight amongst themselves, he had that clear ability to start to put in a couple of good laps. And that's what's netted him the fastest lap of the race also. So essentially, pole position, victory in the fastest lap, but just the stats alone don't tell the entire story, because that was quite an excellent back and forth. There is... That's Mohammed Bin Laden by the looks of it, so he's off the bike already. You can also see that Sasuke Totaro is wheeling in third place. He's back into the pits, gets the applause from his team. And also they're pulling up, that's Muhanad Bakilag as well in there too. But some great congratulations for Sasuke. It looks like they're pretty pleased with the result for Team Green in third place, and a good result for the Kawasaki boys too as well. But it's the two Yamahas out in front, just waiting for our race winner to come through. Just taking it a little more leisurely on the slowing down lap. And there is Mohammed Bin Laden getting some feedback, and so it looked as though he enjoyed that. So certainly a possible young star for the future, just developing his craft, and all the time he spent racing in Europe certainly has paid off. So well done to him. There is Sasuke Totaro, who looks relatively satisfied with third place. I'm sure that obviously any rider would. They want to do better, but a podium's a podium on his first outing in the championship. And he's got a good base to work on for race number 2 later on this afternoon. So the cool down begins, and time to recharge. And more congratulations for Mohammed after his excellent riding. And it was a fine effort to really take the fight to Said. And you just saw there a glimpse of the man who has put essentially all of this together for DSBK, which is and behind it all as our race winner into pit lane.
You are a beast, man.
And I think we just saw a shot there before that of Nasir Said, who is a veteran biker himself. And of course, the DSBK, the Adrenaline Cup, was created between himself and Salman Yusuf Khan as well. It was a passion project long in the making. You can see there's plenty of passion down there, because it's excellent work from Said Al-Salati to take his 3rd win of the season. Perfect record so far. 3 wins from 3 races. You can make it 4 from 4 later on this afternoon if he can do the same again. But of course, he knows now that both Mohammed Bin Laden and Sasuke Totaro, as they did in race 1, are going to make it difficult for him to try and do that. If Mohammed can keep himself on top and keep himself in front, that might well work. Just have a quick check of his rear tyres to make sure. In fact, he's possibly describing some of the characteristics on the tyres in terms of how the bike felt towards the end. But a certain one thing he must have enjoyed was that race between the 3 of them at the front, because that was certainly quite entertaining for those watching, particularly for myself here in the commentary box, and hopefully for those watching around the circuit too. And see, even bike racing, even inspiring some of the youngest fans to get involved and to potentially be in the mix. And there is the congratulations for the victory. It looks like from From Saeed, just describing the victory. And some great camaraderie in this pit lane. Again, both a great mix of some Middle Eastern talents and some European riders coming across who are residents over here at in this part of the world, who are showcasing what some of the Europeans can do here in Dubai on their circuits, and just enriching the variety of riders and bikes that are taking part in this championship up and down the paddock. So yeah, looks like that is a conversation with. Looks like Nasser Saeed, I believe. There is Saeed Al Salati deep in conversation. And plenty of hugs all round for that one. And so just whilst we're winding down for race number 1, they've got about roughly another sort of 3 or 4 hours to sort the bikes out before we get ready for race number 2. But just to confirm on the screen here the result of that one, so it was a victory for Saeed Al Salati by a margin of 1.8 seconds in the end, from Mohammed bin Ladin in second place and Sasuke Sotaro in third. So 2 Yamahas and a Kawasaki on the overall and modified podium. It was 4th place and Superstock victory for Faras Abu Ghanem, ahead of a 5th place overall Florian Belladino. Then Manuel Parra 6th in overall, 2nd in Superstock, and then Yuri Nekrasov rounds out the top 3 in the Superstock class. It was 8th place overall and the rookie victory for Tom Robson, the UK resident here in Dubai. Then Adrian Andranas enjoyed quite a decent battle with some of the leading rookie riders out there. He was 9th overall and 5th in the modified class. Kalfan Al-Karbi was 10th overall and 2nd in rookie, ahead of Marwan Al-Mehri, who led in the opening stages but then dropped back in midway through in the space of 2 or 3 laps. It's rather strange in terms of what his pace went, but hopefully he can pick that back up again for race number 2. And then the rest of the order was Mohamed Samshir in 12th, Matthew Monero 13th, Johan Gauss 14th, Muhannad Bakadlag in 15th, and Hussein Balat rounding out the 16 riders that all started and were all counted home again at the checkered flag. Also confirmation, fastest lap of the race again was Saeed Al Salati on bike number 11, 2 minutes 8.057. And here we're looking to try and replicate that once again. So, race 1 in the books. There's one more still to come. And we'll see whether or not, you see their conversation now between Saeed Al Salati and Mohammed bin Ladin discussing their battle. That was quite fun as well. The experienced rider and the young up-and-comer. A nice mixture of battles between the two of them. And great to see those who are here to see this. It's, of course, being part of the NGK racing weekend, where it's mostly 4-wheel racing, but it's great to see that we've got plenty of 2-wheel enthusiasts down here as well. It's a nice mixture of formats of racing here this weekend. And great to see that the bikes are getting plenty of enthusiasm. As you see, a lot of the riders here are already into the room before, looks like going on to the podium. I think they're going to call up the podium finishers by the looks of it afterwards, but the rider's taking plenty of time to rehydrate. That, I think, looks like our top 3 in, or some of our top riders from the Superstock ranks, including 1 or 2 of the rookies. I think that is Tom Robson on the left-hand side. So that's a key to look out for. Excellent. So whilst we prepare for the podium, let's take a look at some of the highlights of race 1 of the day for the DSBK UAE National Championship here in Dubai. A fantastic race back and forth. Let's remind you how it all went down before we get to the podium celebrations.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Is this for the TV mic? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for the podium presentations for race number 1 of the DSBK UAE National Championship. We will start with the Saxo Bank Rookie Cup. First up, we call Marwan Al-Meheri. Congratulations to Marwan for his first race ever, and here he comes to step up to 3rd place on the podium.
They're my sponsor, you know? You didn't know?
Congratulations, Marwan. And 2nd place, we call Kalfan Al-Kabi. Also, he's very race ever. Well done, guys. How's it going? Well done. Then we have so far Tom coming back to collect more silverware, taking 1st place in the Rookie Cup. Just remember, I'm calling the people at the same time. Congratulations, riders, and thank you to Mr. Nasser Sayed, our title sponsor from DSBK. Congratulations once again to all our Saxo Bank Rookie Cup winners.
Okay, yeah.
Next up will be the Al Yusuf Superstar category. Trophies will be presented by Nasser Sayed of DSBK and category sponsor representative Jack. In 3rd place, we call up Manuel Para. Sure. This is what they've given me.
Oh.
Florine.
No, Florine is...
No.
My mistake, ladies and gentlemen. Just hold on 1 second, please. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. Small correction. In third place, we call up Yuri Nekrasov. Congratulations, Yuri, as Yuri is bouncing back from an RC crash in round 1. Well done. Let me see if I can get it right this time. And in second place, Manuel Para. Congratulations, Manuel.
Badan.
And the man who's proving to have all the pace today in the super stock class, well done to Firas Abul Khanem. Well done, Firas. Well done and congratulations once again to our Superstock podium winners. All right, so next we will be moving on to the Al Yusuf Motors modified category. And I'm sure we can all agree that was one heck of a race that the boys put on for us. So in third place, well done to Saska Totaro. Well done, Saska. And in a hard-fought battle, we call up Mohammed bin Laden for second place. Well done. Well done, Mohammed. And then the wily old fox from Qatar. We call up Saeed Al Sulaiti. Congratulations. Well done to our modified winners. And I'm sure if you guys thought that race was good, don't forget to tune in at 3:30 p.m. for race number 2. Thank you, ladies and gents. Now we will head to a lunch break. Don't forget to join us downstairs at the Golos Italia coffee shop. And then we will resume at 1:30 p.m. again.